particular, resisted the white man's plans for the Amazon, violently. In 1971, the BBC took some of the first ever footage of this legendary tribe. The crew were in Brazil to film the building of one of the many roads being pushed into the rainforest. But it had been stopped in its tracks by the most feared Indians in the Amazon, the Waimiri.
It's the only direct route between two Brazilian cities, Manaus and Boa Vista. It's almost like having a tribe of ancient Britons sitting across the M1 between London and Birmingham.
For more than 100 years, they'd killed every white man that came onto their land. Hunters, rubber tappers, soldiers, missionaries. This group set off to befriend them. Some months later, the Air Force flew in to recover their bodies. The BBC took no chances and filmed the Waimiri from the air. Despite the dangers, idealists in the Brazilian Indian Protection Service believed they must tell the Waimiris about the coming road and the changes it would bring. Porfirio Carvalho was the only survivor of a group of 17 who set out to contact the Waimiri. Most were wiped out in one ferocious attack in 1974. Porfirio received a distress call and came to this very spot in an attempt to save his colleagues.
I walked through the kitchen door and I saw the head of one of my colleagues on the floor. It was an extreme shock for me at the time. He had been attacked with a machete only moments before. He had been decapitated just before I arrived. It was very difficult for me. I was young, 21 years old, a dreamer. Because of my ideals, I wanted to protect the Waimiri tribe.
While the Waimiris were killing Porfirio's friends, their real enemy, the generals running Brazil, were more determined than ever to finish the road, using whatever means necessary.
We tried several times to talk to the generals, to explain what was happening. But they were irrational people. When I went there with a colleague, we asked them to stop for a while so we could research the matter properly. They said they were going to shoot those killer Indians.
The road from Manaus to Boa Vista was finally completed under tight security. In 1985, the BBC returned to find out what had happened to the Waimiris.
This is where the Indian villages stood in 1971. Today, there is not a trace of the large houses or the people who lived in them.
The BBC interviewed Porfirio, who told them what he thought had happened after the army went in.
E o que aconteceu nesse período? Pouco se sabe concretamente. O que se sabe é que os 2.000 índios que existiam lá, que eu visitei, tive a oportunidade de visitar várias dessas malocas, não existem mais. Sumiram.